Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast Sunday edition. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, paying $22 a month on X Live, the premium business version, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the bunker in beautiful New Jersey, from the mountaintop with the nice mountain view and Scotty's Michael J. Fox Studios in Beverly Hills, California. Tom says, good, we lost in preseason.
Yeah, we're not going to go 7-0. We're not going to go 7-0, and I'm happy as hell because that was our death knell last year. Hey, 7-0 in the preseason. We're going to win the cup now. No. It's almost
bad luck.
You're supposed to lose in the preseason because you're supposed to be trying stuff out, and you're supposed to see what works and what doesn't work. And that's really the best thing is you can learn what doesn't work versus what does work. I think that's
so. Short
important.
guy, should I be freaking out that Markstrom let up 2 goals on 19 shots? Should I be going bananas and calling for a new goalie already?
Let's see. Are you asking as beer baron or are you asking as an irrational fan?
An irrational fan.
Yes. No.
And the answer is clearly yes. Have you seen social media? Some people are freaking out. Relax.
On the block.
Relax.
He's on the block.
Are people really freaking out on social media?
Yeah, always.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap! It's the first if you've never played the game, there's a massive difference between what you do in practice and what you do in a game. And Markstrom's also learning a whole new defensive core. Markstrom's learning a whole new defensive core. You have a whole new defensive core learning how to be defensive core with each other, and you've got new forwards out there as well. We've got some lines reunited, but it's our biggest change was in goaltending and on defense, and they're all still trying to figure it out. Plus in a preseason, I want to say Markstrom. I only saw the second goal because I missed the first period because I was doing some work before the game started. It was a pretty clean pick over the glove, and it had a little bit of a deflection. Yeah, those goals happen, and you trust me, he hates that he gave that goal up. He also understands that it was deflected, and he couldn't do much more about it. So you move on. You watch the tape tomorrow, and you figure out what you did wrong. I will say one thing about Markstrom. How awesome is his helmet? How sick! And we've been waiting for a great Devils helmet because I love Brodor's helmet, but it was simple. It was really simple, but it's iconic at this point. Probably mostly because it's Brodor. But holy hell, Markstrom, we all had high hopes for his helmet, and boy, does he deliver with that helmet. That helmet is something else. I like Jake Allen's too. It's simple. It's to the point. But I do love that too. But man, that Markstrom helmet, there's nightmares painted on that helmet, and I absolutely love it. I love it.
That's the best way to put that.
I like how it's both like a contrast too, like where Markstrom's is really, looks very artistic and, creepy and Pine Barrens and, old newspapers floating by in the wind and a devil on the side and all these trees. And then, and then you got Jake Allen's, which, like you said, is a little bit more kind of Brodor-esque, where it's like simple. Yeah. It's got the stripes, it's got the logo and stuff. I like that both of them kind of like have a contrast.
Contrast.
Yeah. You got one that's really traditional, then you got one that's really cutting edge. I think they both look really good, but yeah, it's hard to tell at first, but then when you get a close up of Markstrom's helmet, it's sick, man. That devil on the side,
a lot of detail.
The Pine Barrens woods in the background and everything. Like when you really get to look at it, you're like, hot damn, that's a goalie mask right there.
That's a helmet I would love to just for about 10 minutes just to take and hold in my hands and just look at the detail, because I guarantee there's detail that we're going to need such a close-up view of. But I love when goalies have that creativity, or at least give an artist that creative license to be like, here's a couple ideas, and Beer Baron as the artist of the group, you can appreciate that. I'm sure where you get to ask who you're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
art for, like, what do you want? You pick their brain a little bit, and then they just say, go ahead, man, make it badass. And
Markstrom
I
still
feel
be
like
waiting for his
that's
helmet
done.
if Beer Baron was doing it.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna get started on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. Yeah, no problem there, Jakey. I get
No
that done for you.
problem.
Yeah.
What do you think of this one? It's not even done. I know. I need more time. I spilled coffee on it too. I'm sorry. I got a little busy.
I believe that's the design Craig Billington used back in the day.
Yeah.
We might want to
Bringing it back.
Bring it back.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
a good one.
I love that stuff. I love the creativity. I hopefully
yeah.
usually the artist will put out like a picture of the helmet up close. So hopefully that happens soon, so we can get a good look at it.
So
I'd love to see like the full artwork of it too, like because it's
like
because
flattened
it's
out.
painted on. Obviously, you got to take pieces of it out for the mask and everything like that. I would love to see just the full concept up there, kind of like when you see sometimes your favorite albums, back at years ago when we used to have cassettes and CDs,
when you actually had to
pull
like
it out. And you unfold it, and like the picture is like, whoa,
yeah.
And then you can never fold it back correctly again, and you shove it into the CD,
like
and
a map.
Never fits.
Yeah, just like a map.
You just have to
You're
like
shoving it out.
that thing
For some
close.
reason, you're like, get underneath those damn things. What's going on?
You're like, what is happening? Kids these days have no idea. And I'm sure somebody on one of the groups is going to be like,
vinyl's huge, man.
Yeah, vinyl is coming back.
Vinyl's huge. And cassettes are coming back because I've seen a lot of, at least what I like in the punk hardcore scene, that cassettes are always an option. They're a small limited run, 1 to 200, but yeah, that stuff's all on its way back. But I know about the Markstrom helmet. He had posted some teasers about it, but what I read was that he was asked to take it down because the Devils are looking to do a full spot on the helmet. So
that's cool.
that should be there's going to be some C word. Can't use the C word because Sam doesn't like it, but there's supposed to be some C word about the helmet and its design coming shortly. So we're just kind of hoping it's going to be sooner rather than later, and that's definitely a spot that I'm going to watch a couple times over. That's for sure, because I really want to see that thing up close.
Now
that's
imagine
warm-ups opening night. I'm going to be really kind of taking a good look at that when I'm going to go down to ice level if I can.
Now, picture Markstrom with Dell's pads from a couple of years ago.
Oh,
remember those
I'm
Aaron
still
Dell
hoping,
pads that were. Oh, those are
I'm
so
still
nice.
hoping that those Dell pads show up somewhere on some site, and I have enough credit card space to be like, "Yep, mine." I just had there's actually a really cool I think they were like the base color was black with red trim. A set of Corey Crawford's pads that he only used the 3 times he was on the ice with the Devils. They were recently up for sale for a pretty decent price too, but I didn't need any of the gear. So, but they went quick too. But if those Dell pads come up, I don't care what I need or don't need. I need them, and I will wear them.
Well, all right. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about the game and some of this news that has been going on around the team?
Which you were very worried about, Scotty. You were very worried.
I was very worried, but looks like everything is all now set in Devil's bliss because Dawson Mercer was officially re-signed with the team, a 3-year deal, and each year price goes up a little bit. So I know we were all a little bit concerned about the fact that the salary cap, we were getting right to the edge there. And Dawson seemed to be like he was going to be, looking in that 4 million range. And when you only have 4.9, that doesn't leave you a lot of wiggle room. But they were able to work it out where this year's contract is a little bit less. But I think it's a 4 million cap hit every single year, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it is.
I didn't look up the hit. Look that up now.
I believe that's what it is a 4 million cap hit every year. But 3 years. And Dawson Mercer signed up, doesn't miss any training camp time or anything like that. And he is in there and ready to go. Although he didn't play tonight, He didn't play tonight. There were a number of Devils regulars that were in the lineup, but there were a number of regulars that weren't in the lineup, like Jack Hughes, Timo Meyer, Eric Halla, Brett, don't call me Joe Pesci, Luke, Shimon Nemec, and Dawson Mercer. Yeah, like not in there. But who was back? Dougie Hamilton, the Tuna, Thomas Tatar, Stefan Nason
with the captain,
making his debut with the team. And that coach that we hired over the summer. I don't know if you heard about that or not, but we have a new coach on this team, Mr. Sheldon Keefe. And when they were talking about him, these are the ways they were describing him: commands respect, great with communication, and wants to utilize team speed. Attack the puck and sprint to your spots.
Yeah, and something that I love that I was reading, it was either earlier today or yesterday, is that in practice, he went out and played defense against Jack Hughes and, like, bodied him, like, was actually getting into him and, like, making him work for the puck. Like, I love that kind of stuff. I love getting your hands dirty, getting out there with the players, like, really mucking it up and, like, trying to, not just, like, skating in circles, blowing a whistle. So, yeah, dude, it's good to see a lot of the regulars getting out there and look at our captain putting one home, right? You got a goal and an assist from the cap, and then from Bratter, you're getting a goal and assist as well.
That was that Brat goal, I think, especially was a great response to getting scored on, and then almost immediately going down the other end and putting one in the net. So that to me was a huge goal, because it was all right. Great, we just went down, and boom, there we are, tied again. That's the type of stuff we're going to need all season.
It was a great response, and it did seem like the Devils kind of went to bed after that goal for whatever reason out there, but it's only preseason, so it really, it doesn't really matter. But they did have a very strong first period. They started off with a bang, power play goal there for the captain, Nico Hischier. Jesper Bratt gets the assist on there, and man, what a pass by Jesper Bratt. And again, talking about Sheldon Keefe getting to the puck.
Yeah.
Jesper Bratt got on that loose puck in the faceoff circle, and he just does a spin-a-rooney, no-look pass and just whips it right through to the center slot there, through 3 different aisles to find Nico Hischier, who puts it top shelf near side, past was it Hodberg or something? I can't remember who the aisles had there. Hodberg, in goal. Hodgeberg, whatever.
Haga gonna be there in the AHL for sure.
Yeah, old Haagen-Dazs there. Put it right past him. Top shelf, near side, and that was a pretty goal from the captain right there to get the team going.
Someone just posted pictures from their TV of close-ups of Markstrom's helmet, and just being able to look at it static like this is just it's awesome.
Yeah, and Markstrom had a good first and second period as well. He flashed the glove a couple times. He robbed Kyle Palmieri on a couple shots. And I'll tell you, Brendan Dillon already. Dillon! You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
You're going to see a lot of him this year, but we already saw him step up, and use his physicality in the first period, separating the man from the puck, and did he deliver a bone cruncher in the second period, coming from the center ice defensive position and then over to the boards. I don't remember who it was on the Islanders, but he crushed them up against the wall. And you know who else looks good in that sense? This new Meats and Mitts. We know there's Sam Wu. We know he likes the beef. He likes that meat. Let me tell you.
And the mitt.
Paul Cotter, this kid is going to be, I know everyone, myself included, was a little shocked when we gave up Alexander Holtz, but I'm telling you, this Cotter kid could be the next coming of Pickles, of Blake Coleman. Like, he has got some hands on him, and he is going to get physical out there. Him, Lazar, and Bastian, out of all the Devils' lines tonight, that was the one that I think I was, because I know Nico Hischier can put it in the net. I know Jesper Bratt can put it in the net. We know where those guys are slotted in. There's line 1, line 2. But where is this bottom 9 how is this gonna play out? And let me tell you, man, Paul Cotter made some really nice moves tonight. There was one where he put the puck right in between the legs of Brock Nelson and skated around the goal, and then he fed Curtis Lazar, who was parked right in front of the net. Those dirty goals that, the last couple of years we've been calling for him. Go to the net, crash the net. Mm-hmm. Now they got a physical team that's actually going to go there and do that. And, woo! That line, I think, was the line that I was most impressed with over the course of this game.
Yeah, and hopefully that's going to be one of their energy lines, right? So you have to. A good team always has, your top lines where you're going to have a Jack, you're going to have a Nico, you're going to have a Brat, you're going to have guys that have finish, you're going to have guys that are going to dazzle, you're going to have guys, but you also need that lunch pail line. You need a guy that's going to be on there that's going to be able to do these things. But like you said, he's going to be a grinder too, and that's something that this team, when the whole McLeod situation happened, that the Devils lost that line that could go out there and compete against your top line or go into dirty corners or score those dirty goals. And I felt like Bastian kind of lost his identity too. Now, hopefully, this new line that they put together, the meets and mitts, hopefully this line sticks together for a while and you can start to see that chemistry start to build. I feel like this would be, Curtis Lazar taking another big step this year and hopefully Bastian getting back to being able to do more than, nothing. So his bar set really low. So at least he can, he scores a couple and he'll be like, whoa, look at this Bastian kid again. But it's good to have that. It's good to have a response line too, because if you have a line that's trying to push, Jack around or something like that, you could just be like, all right, boys, you ready to go? And they'll say, yeah, good.
You got a job to do.
And I think you hit the nail on the I think
Call
you
the
hit the nail on
gyms.
the
Get
head.
the gyms out there.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head, though, with Bastian. We know what good friends he was with he who shall not be named. And we know that whole situation. They were always paired together all the time when they were coming up.
Yep. And
to lose that, really must have been a difficult situation. Then he gets injured and blah, blah, blah. But hopefully with Cotter and Lazar, if this is the way they go, as sort of an energy line, or who knows, that's the thing with this team this year. It's almost, I feel like it's almost built, because we are at the end of baseball season, but it's almost built like a baseball team where you can rotate some guys in and out, throughout the season. And the depth is going to come into play. I mean, it already has with Luke Hughes. We saw Kovacevic out there tonight. He's a big boy, too. He blocked a couple shots. Liked seeing that from him. The only line we really didn't see anything from was this Schmelzer, Stillman. I mean, Chase Stillman made a bad change that kind of led to the one Islanders goal. Nolan Foote really didn't do anything as well. Colton White, we know he's going to be in the AHL. DeSimone, most likely as well. So, but
DeSimone might be counted on in the beginning of the year with the injury to Luke. So who knows if they're going to have like a rotating, six.
I think they'll go with Kovacevic. I think they'll go with Kovacevic over DeSimone. Yeah. But DeSimone probably your extra guy to start out with because Brett Pesce is still recovering from his offseason surgery and all that stuff. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the the extra defenseman to start the season, and then eventually makes his way down to the AHL. And that's kind of what he did for Calgary as well before they released him last year, and we picked him up on waivers. So, but he played well for us down the stretch. And don't forget, you still have Hataka as well, who really opened some eyes last year. So you're going to have those guys all kind of pressing for that final spot over there. Like I said, there's a lot of good people that can rotate in and out of this lineup.
It's such a different situation than we were in last year when we had this thin defensive core and always issues, or I don't want to say always issues, but where we were really thin. And we were one injury away, which we found out by November from a disaster. So it's, like you're saying,
we were one injury away and got 8 of them.
Yeah. But it's such a different situation from last year. We have depth this year.
Yeah.
Whereas this year this year we have the depth. Last year we had nothing, and we paid the price. And I feel like one of the things that Fitzgerald saw was he saw the failure of lacking depth, which is really what you can bring last year down to, is just lacking depth. So I'm very happy. And speaking of baseball teams and their rotation, 3/4 of us are happy tonight because our Mets won 3-1 against the Phils in 4 games. So
good. Hey, you know what though? I'm always gonna say this about the Mets, that if you do good, it's okay. Like, I don't hate the Mets. Like, when I was a kid, I hated the Mets. But now,
if you can do good,
you
that's
guys
okay.
have fun. You go have fun with your little team over there and the little toys that you got, and go in your sandbox. Anyways, no, that's a good thing. But yeah, dude, the depth on this team is going to be good. In the preseason, the one thing I everybody that overreacts to any kind of preseason game, whether it be NHL, NFL, anything,
we're 7-0. We're 7-0.
Which people overreacted to that too. Like, everybody overreacted to the fact that we're 7-0. Yeah, it was fun. It was like kind of cool, and it was like, all right, whatever. But then you want to see adversity. Adversity is a good thing, and like one of the things that I always like to say, like especially like helping coach my daughter's field hockey team, if they lose a game or if they're having a bad game, I'm like, listen, it can't always be perfect. And if you go out there and you're facing adversity, and if you're losing, the worst thing you can do is feel sorry for yourself. You look at what happened, you learn from it, and you grow. Losing should be a growing opportunity. It shouldn't be a feel bad for me opportunity. Like, even in preseason, they're going to look at the tapes. You got a brand new coach. You got a brand new, like you said before, Short Sky, you have a brand new goaltender with a brand new coach, with a brand new system, with a brand new everything.
Defensive
core. So it's going to take a minute. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say this too, that even in the beginning of the year, if the Devils start off slow, I don't think it's time to panic either. I don't want them to start off slow. I don't hope they start off slow. I'm just saying, if they do, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Like, the first 10 games, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because there's so many new pieces to this team. And yes,
they're going to Prague as well.
They are going to Prague, which. Palat said that was the defining moment for their Lightning team when they went overseas, that really solidified them as a unit to help them get to that point where they were starting to win multiple cups. Just saying. And well, Palat, you better get your crap together then.
Yeah, because he was the one regular that was, noticeably absent on the ice tonight. He was just the one guy that I don't think you heard anything from, really, throughout the entire evening.
I heard his name once. I heard his name once.
Yeah, when they called the lineup in the beginning before the game started, maybe that's about
it.
No.
I think it was during the game. I thought I heard him say his name.
Adversity is an old wooden ship. No, that's diversity. Diversity is the old wooden ship. Adversity was the sister ship that went down in the Atlantic during the Civil War era. Anyways.
Who we got over here? Ted Hataka is defenseman over there, so he will not be on the fourth line. He'll be on the third pairing, most likely, when he does play.
Yeah, fourth pairing, maybe. The sub guys. But it's, once again, the depth of defense I'm happy about. We have Jacob Markstrom making saves already. I love it.
He made some nice saves. He really did.
Yeah.
I mean, the first goal was where was that? Oh yeah, Anders Lee snapshot from the top circle, past the glove. But then he made a nice glove save on a one-timer. I can't remember who it was, from hitting it just above the circle, and Markstrom was moving side to side. I mean, let him find his groove. It's okay. It's preseason. If anyone's flipping out over those 2 goals, you have no reason to flip out, because it's preseason. It doesn't count. Yeah. B, these guys are finding their groove, and it's going to take them a little bit to get into quote unquote mid-season form. This is not a, hey, go and play all out. This is a, hey, it's a preseason game. Stay at a certain level here, and don't overexert yourself and injure yourself before the season even starts.
I mean, aside from that, you probably have a bunch of guys that are like, I'm not going to go get myself injured a week from going to Prague.
Well, yeah, that too.
So you've got guys that I'm not saying that they were going to go half speed, but knowing that they don't want to be injured for that experience, like that's going to be a great experience for all these guys going over there. So it's it's understandable.
Do you think Markstrom plays one more game before they go to Prague? Do you think he gets in one or two more games before Prague, or do they start going, all right, Brennan, get in there, and Dawes get in there, and like all the guys?
I
sure
think
Jake
they will.
Allen get a game.
Yeah, Jake Allen will get a game.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the preseason schedule now. So
I can't remember how many they play before they leave.
Well, they leave
Not
Sunday.
a lot. I think it's only like
they leave Sunday, and there's three
four or
more.
five.
There's
so four
Tuesday,
total.
Wednesday, Friday. There's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. One's at Montreal.
Are they having?
I'd say Jake.
One's at the Islanders.
Jake Allen gets 2 periods the next game. Then you get Markstrom back in there for 2 periods on the Wednesday game, and then that's it.
Both
those two are done. Yeah,
I could imagine that. Yeah, I could see that. Because they also had a whole bunch of the younger goalies up. They had
Owen Meister.
Brennan, Poulter was there.
Yep.
So they've got 4 other goalies they do need to see something out of. So I wouldn't even be surprised, Scotty, if Markstrom and Jake Allen got less time. But then again, the guys that don't go to Prague, they're going to have to play those games, including the it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday next week, Rangers, and Flyers. So, those guys are going to get shouts during those games too. So, we'll
and who's
going to,
you think, is Dineen going to be coaching them back here while Keefe is obviously going to be with the team over in Prague, but
I would assume so. I would assume that probably you'll have some of the Utica guys because they're going to want obviously the NHL coaching guys to be over in Europe with them.
He's just going to do it via Zoom, like everything else.
Just get one of those robots.
Yeah,
get one of those robots.
They've contracted Sam Wu to stream him in.
Yeah, just tape like an iPad or something or tablet, whatever they use, to the glass, and there he is. Just pop his head on there,
and then put a tie around like a broomstick. And then put a cell phone tape
it's preseason. No need for ties. It's preseason. No need to be so formal. Nah, just a Hawaiian shirt and some flip flops. You're all good.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. I'm excited for the season to get going, and it's the first preseason game is always nice, but it's always like that tease to like, oh man, we still have a couple weeks to go before everything really gets ramped up. And I mean, they have a couple of PTOs that are going to have to go out there and play.
No, it's not.
But here's the other thing:
we're not too far.
Are the PTOs staying back, or the PTOs going?
We'll find out.
That's an interesting question, right?
You know what though? I can see the PTOs playing their way to going. The PTOs absolutely have an opportunity to play their way to go to Prague. And if they don't go to Prague, they know that their chances are kind of slim, and they're going to really have to go all out in those preseason games that are here in order to stay. But if any of those PTOs get the tap on the shoulder, like, "Hey, pack your stuff, you're going to Prague," you know that they're right on the cusp of making this team.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. What a way to start too. Be like, you know what? You can come with us. Come on, get your stuff. Go get your stuff. Let's go,
man. Yeah, they're calling all their buddies. Man, I was on my couch like 3 weeks ago. Now I'm going to Prague.
Either that or they're like, damn it! I just realized the team's going to Prague and they just need me for these preseason games. Son of a damn!
And now I got to stay here in Jersey. Son of a yeah, dude. Listen, if they get the opportunity to go over there, they get the opportunity to go over there. And if they don't, they don't. Whatever the case may be, but getting the team ramped up overseas, I mean, that is going to be a nice like bonding moment for them. I just looking at Cotter too, like that's a guy that I wouldn't be shocked to see go and jump up on Jack's line in a couple of games. Maybe he's going up to jump on Jack's line, and then you can have like that, not that he's an enforcer, but you can have somebody that's going to like maybe step in and not let Jack get thrown around a lot out there. So I don't know. You think he's got
do an old Jim McKenzie style, throw Curtis McDermott up there with Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt like McGinley and Gomez back in the day. And just let them
100
do circles
just
around
ping pong
people
around.
And then
and then here's big Jim McKenzie just clearing away.
Yeah, well now we have McDermott just come in and just level some people and stand in front of the net and block the goaltender and let Jesper and Jack do whatever they want. I believe they said that Jesper Bratt has been playing with Jack Hughes on a line through training camp so far, and Timo has been with Nico. So I think that's what it's really going to come down to here is who's going to finish out these lines,
Yeah.
With Tatar coming back, big brother guy, great in the locker room. Everyone loves him on the team. Is he a first line player? With Nico Hischier and Timo Meier? I'm not sure. Is Dawson Mercer go up there instead?
That's for these guys to make the case for.
They really have to figure out, how they're gonna fill this out, because normally you would say get your $6 million man Palat up there, but
there's competition.
That old albatross.
He
may start out up there. Yeah,
there's competition in this camp. I love it. Because these guys have got to show that they want to be that third guy on that line. Okay. So do it. Play your way into that spot.
And OMI just said the Tatar, Nico, and Mercer line. That was a great line a couple years ago, but that was also a couple years ago. So, I mean, we didn't have
in a different
Meier.
position then. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And I mean,
dude,
Timo and Nico definitely have a natural chemistry together. So, I think keeping them together is a good play, and it's going to be interesting because, like Shorts Guy just said, having this competition is a good thing, and hopefully by the time we see Buffalo in Prague, the lines are kind of evened out because you also don't want to like put somebody somewhere because you have to, like like the Palat situation, like you don't want to put them on a line because you're like, well, if we give them a chance again, it's like no, like let's make sure we're putting people where they belong.
So that's one of the great things with a whole new coaching staff coming in with Sheldon Keefe. He's not he has what's the best way? It's not that he has no loyalty to anyone, but he doesn't have to put anyone anywhere he doesn't want to. Like this is his show. He can place these guys in these line combinations however he wants, and he's not going to stir a line just to stir a line, but it's up to him, and these guys got to earn that spot. So he's not beholden to any kind of, old line combos in the past that we talked last weekend. Like, yeah, he can look at what has worked before with some of these guys, but he's not, it's not something he has to stick to. If he doesn't like it, he's going to change it. And I think that's a great thing. Mm-hmm. And there's, again, competition for these spots. And if these guys are in a situation with Sheldon Keefe and he's commanding respect, that these guys are going to push real hard to show him why they should be on, line X or whatever, which is, again, there's, along with the competition with the team, these guys want to prove this to Sheldon Keefe because this is their tryout. Even though they're all on this team, this is their tryout for their placement in this team, and that's fantastic. I love it. It's all good stuff.
Yeah. And JP just almost forgot to mention Stefan Nason as well. Eric Halla, who didn't play tonight. You got a lot of guys, going for these couple spots because it's going to be Timo, Nico, Jack, and Jesper. So who else is filling in on those? I mean, obviously it doesn't have to stay that way the entire season.
No, it won't.
Yeah, but you're wondering who might get that call because there's a lot of guys that can fill that spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget, and chemistry is a big thing, right? You got the Halla and Jack Hughes connection too. Like, there's a lot of pairs that go together well. So Whatever, man. It's fun. It's just so nice to have hockey back right now. It's just so nice. I mean, like, football has been kind of a downer. Fantasy, just garbage, just gross. So at least we have football to look forward to. That's what I keep saying to myself before I go to sleep.
You mean hockey?
Curled up in a ball.
You mean hockey?
You know what I mean. You can tell football has destroyed me. Football has absolutely destroyed me at this point.
I guess these injuries have destroyed everybody. But one other thing we haven't even talked about yet is assistant coach. What's his name? Colleton. Right? He was with Chicago for a while.
They were talking about him on the broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is something that I know has come up in the past on some other teams like Philadelphia, like the Rags across the river, the Islanders right now, having multiple head coaches on the staff, or at least people that have been head coaches that have been in that position to make these decisions, to work with the team. That confidence, I think, is a great thing for this team, which is still, a young team with a lot of guys who haven't won anything yet. You don't have a bunch of you're not getting like Stevens and Niedermeyer and Danico back there, with 2 cups under their belt, at one point, teaching some of these younger kids that are coming up in 2003. Like, you have a lot of guys that haven't had that win yet. And I think having that other head coach experience on there, I think that's a great thing for this team.
It's almost an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, and our action, the head coach in Sheldon Keefe has a lot to prove too. You look at he was up in Toronto. He had a team that should have been rolling people in the playoffs. That was regular season darlings, and a guy who's scoring like 60, 70 goals, and Austin Matthews, and the talent oozing out of this team, and he couldn't get over the hump of the first round. And there's a lot of criticism
because he didn't have a goalie.
Exactly.
Or defense.
So there was defense, and there's a lot of criticism going his way.
But it's not his. You finished, and I'll talk.
I was just going to say, you think that that's enough motivation to go out there and to prove a lot of people wrong. So that motivation seeps into the team too.
Yeah, and it's not really his fault that the front office in Toronto paid those guys the money they did, which left him with scrapping together some defense and a goaltenders that just couldn't get out of their own way at times. They.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't put the curse on Toronto. They did it themselves.
They did.
Yeah.
Toronto went after. Well,
How long has it been for them? What was the last time?
60s,
right?
64,
67. I think 67.
67.
Where's our statistician Max here in the YouTube chat?
But this goes into the presser that Fitzy had earlier this week, which he said he wanted no D-heads on this team. And
no D-heads.
Hey, you know what? We're a clean show here. So
no Richard Cabezas on this team. No Richard Cabezas. Ricardo Cabezas do not apply.
You've got a guy like Fitzgerald that's looking for the right pieces to the puzzle to make this team better. Whereas you probably didn't have that in Toronto. Like they had Matt Murray and then he got hurt. And then they had Sonoff and then he got hurt.
Had a lot of guys.
They had a lot of guys that were good for spurts and they signed them for a big contract and then they just never panned out. Whereas Fitzgerald took his time with this. I mean, much to a lot of people's stress. Dawson Mercer
had some goalie swings and misses as well so far.
Oh, I know that. I get that. I get that. But he was.
And we should knock on every piece of wood that Jacob Markstrom doesn't become Corey Crawford. And who was the other?
I know.
Who was it? I can't even remember. Who was the other guy the older guy that they signed? That didn't he retire? Why can't I think of his name?
Oh no, it's Corey Crawford was in the one that retired.
Corey Crawford that came and went. Bernier got hurt. He was there.
Bernier. There you go.
I've got his goalie pants that I use as mine now. But goaltenders aside, that's the one thing that Fitzgerald has not been able to solidify as quickly as all of us would have wanted. But I feel like the rest of the team, he's finding the right pieces to the puzzle to fit in, and he's also willing to be smart with the signings, like waiting on Dawson Mercer. It stressed a lot of people out, but he wanted to get that signing right. He didn't want to give Dawson, he wanted Dawson Mercer, but he didn't want to give him, more than he needed to, and then have Dawson Mercer disappear after his big payday. So
by the way, I love that Paul said, I bet Richard Cabeza is a Rangers fan. He is definitely a Ranger fan. That Ricardo Cabeza, you're a bastard. But yeah, dude, the way Fitzy's been putting this team together and the way it's been going piece by piece, there's points where we're like last year, going into the season last year, all of us were like, yes, this is it. But not just us. It was like people on NHL Network that were saying that the Devils were going to be way better than they were. And it just, things happened. Injuries happened. The team fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Lindy got fired. The highlight of the year last year was the outdoor game, which is amazing. But this team feels different. There's a different atmosphere. There's a different feeling with the coaching. There's a different feeling. Like everything just feels like with Markstrom and all this other kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like I don't have that same excitement about the year as I'm like overhyping it in my head. I guess it's more of like okay, like you just sit back and like nod your head and you're like, all right, okay, all right, we're gonna be all right. So let's see where this goes. It's like just that really good song. You don't have to like sit there and know every single word. Just nod your head and you're like, all right, I like this. I like where this is going. Let's just keep this going. So, damn, this season can't start soon enough.
Yeah, we're not that far away.
We're not
that far away, and we got a couple more preseason games to check out. All the players obviously that didn't play tonight that are healthy enough to play, but maybe some other rookies as well, and maybe some of these other goaltending prospects because as we've mentioned, Markstrom is a little bit up there. Jake Allen a little bit up there. We know they're not the complete long-term solution.
They are not. They're not the long-term.
I mean, you never know.
Right now, answer.
Maybe
Bobrovsky proved to us.
It can be done.
Proved to us that a 36-year-old can win a cup, and a motivated 36-year-old can win a cup. That's
Marty and Moose were 40 and 41, and they took us to the cup. So it can be done.
It can be done, and Markstrom knows that he's very near the end of his career. Markstrom wants to win a cup. He's motivated, and he's got a damn good team in front of him. And that's the type of guy that I think you want to win a cup now. But I think it gives Fitzgerald the time to figure out the, post-Markstrom time period, which I guarantee he's looking at that right now. My guess is he's looking at 2-3 years down the road right now for goaltending. Like, is Dawes the guy? Is Poulter the guy?
Well, and that would be great if it's in-house. That would be great if
it would be fantastic if it's in-house. It would be fantastic if it's in-house.
Yeah.
But if it's not, now's the time that you start looking. What guys are up in 2 years? What goalies are up in 2 years? What goalies are up in 1 year? Because Jake Allen may not be here after. I think he's only here this season, if I'm not mistaken.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. So he may be looking at like, okay, does Jake Allen earn his way into another 1 year, or is there a guy whose contract expires in a year that we would want to bring in to play under Markstrom to take over for Markstrom? But then also at the same time, if that's the case, maybe you have someone that lights a fire under Markstrom to play fantastic for another 3-4 years. Now's the time to look for this stuff. Like Fitzgerald's not going to sit back and be like, yeah, look at what I've done. He's not.
It's not. And it's not like we don't have this, potential on defense to be one of the stronger defensive units in the league for the next number of years to come. Because we, if there's one place where we have a lot of depth in prospects, it's on defense. So,
which is also trade material.
It's trade material, but it's also enticing to goaltenders as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and
imagine
JP
if you were playing with someone instead of Billy Dean. You would stop probably 10 more shots a game.
I play against Billy Dean. Man, but I'll tell you what. My game last week, my team decided that I could just do it all on my own, and they allowed 38 shots in 45 minutes. It's like, oh, guys, I can't.
Good God.
Yeah. And then another
by the way,
30 shots against the next game.
Jeez. OMI and JP both said, talking and Dubs.
The Russian kid
is the Russian American kid who's we just drafted him this year. So there's prospects in the system. There's pieces in place that hopefully will develop.
And that defensive kid who's like 7 feet tall already.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that kid too.
Lanky,
and then there's
anything.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's a big boy.
Fill out.
And I don't know. Did you guys hear on the broadcast they were talking about Mr. Nemec hit the gym over the summer? And don't forget these kids are like 20, 21.
They're like 19,
growing. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, is Nemec 19 or
19? 19. I think he's now 20. But
I mean, he's still
20.
growing. He's still growing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the best part.
Don't be surprised if he looks a little bit more, a little muscular when he comes back here.
Large for this season. Been on the larger side.
As Bryce Salvador said, that's why he didn't actually get hurt over in those preliminaries or whatever it was, those Olympic or Worlds or whatever they were when they got
Olympic.
They said he got a shoulder injury, but I think the shoulder injury actually happened to the other guy. That's what I heard.
Supernova, I think that 6'11" defenseman plays for Penn State, if I'm not mistaken. There's somebody on this podcast that could correct me if I was wrong about that. I wonder who loves Penn State here.
No one around here.
No one here.
That was his cue.
No one on this podcast.
Totally missed his cue. He must be eating a sandwich. But anyways, moving along. Yeah. So, and then there's another kid that they have. I can't pronounce his last name, and I won't try. I think he might have been in
Silyev?
Undrafted.
The Russian defenseman?
Undrafted.
Oh.
No. Undrafted defenseman who's also like 6'6", like an absolute monster too. So listen, man, there's a lot of promise in the system. There's a lot of promise, but also there's a lot of promise right now. This team, man, just keep Markstrom healthy, keep Jack healthy, keep them all healthy. That should be like the mantra. Keep them all healthy. Yeah. I want to see this team intact, for crying out loud. Is that too much to ask for? I want to see a whole season. Obviously, there'll be bumps and bruises here and there, but for the whole season, for the most part, let's just keep everybody intact. And when you got teams that are trying to run our boys in.
Listen to me, guys.
I know.
Anyone gets hurt, you're fired. All right?
Boys. I got an idea. Here's my idea. It's a good one. You're going to go out there, and you're not going to get hurt. That's the story. And if you do, you're out. I'll throw you at it.
I'm tossing you to the curb myself.
Their arms are like twisted backwards. They're like, I'm good, coach. I'm good. Don't let the owner see me. It's fine. Trainer,
I got my first house payment I got to put down. Don't let him fire me, please.
The trainer's one of those old school guys with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, standing on the bench, like rolling out duct tape
in there.
Yeah. Bring him over to me. I'll fix him up real good. He just wraps his leg up with duct tape. Don't worry, kid. Take this pill. It'll be fine.
This is what we call crazy glue. Ooh, look at that. Those are the fastest stitches you can get, boy.
Why does my water taste funny? It's feel-good juice, kid. You're fine. Get out there. You won't feel pain.
It's feel-good juice.
How's that feel-good juice? I feel fantastic. Well, your leg is backwards, so you might want to sit down. Oh, my God. Yeah, don't be a D-head and get hurt.
Oh, man.
Don't be a D-head and get hurt. You know what's so funny? And like the argument of like, what is the definition between like someone being a douche or a D-head and somebody being an antagonist, or like one of those guys that stirs the pot out there, like somebody you want, like a Claude Lemieux or like a Clarkson. or like one of those guys that's going to be like that gritty sandpaper guy that's going to just like piss everybody off, but it's going to help you out. I feel like the difference is like, yeah, those guys are great to have on your team, and and you want that kind of guy on your team. You want that guy that's going to go out there and start getting under people's skin, as long as he's doing it with the team and like for the team. I mean, like you could be a dick on the ice, but just be a good person off the ice. Like when you're in the locker room with your teammates, and I think that's what he's saying. He's not saying he wants like a bunch of like guys are going to be gay. Oh my God, are you guys okay? Oh geez, did I hit you too hard? Oh my God, I'll get you a flapjack or something after the game. Like he doesn't want
flapjack. I'll buy you a grand slam at Denny's when we're there. Don't worry.
You guys okay out there? Is everybody having
Waffle House?
As long as you're having fun. As long as you're having. No, that's not. He's not looking for people that are soft. He's saying like, you get it. You just.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's the word I'm thinking of? Anyways, not enforcer.
Agitator.
I guess so. Agitator. Whatever.
Well, yeah, you like you said, you want that guy that's going to be.
He doesn't want no scrubs
in a good locker room. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say McDermott's a good example of that.
Have you ever seen a movie
again?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Are you quoting TLC? Do you even realize you're quoting TLC? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Instigator. Thank you, JP.
Instigator.
There we go.
There you go.
An agitator? You want an agitator? A guy that's going to go out like a mosquito in the middle of the night and is buzzing by your ear? No. I want an instigator. Somebody's going to make somebody take a dumb penalty. Those are the kind of guys you want.
Yeah.
Like Claude Lemieux, I'll punch you in the back of the head and you'll be like, what? And you retaliate because the ref always sees what? The retaliation. And then he goes out there and he scores a power play goal for you. That's what you're looking for,
look,
Sam Wu.
Sam Wu has returned.
Where were you on the Penn State thing, dude? Queued you up and everything.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm on screen and you don't cue me, and then when I leave the console, then you want to talk to me?
Cue you up, man.
What would you say?
How the Penn State has that huge defenseman, that's like 6'11".
Oh yeah, that kid.
I was like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. But if there's somebody that loves Penn State, they'd let me know. And
yeah, but he can't really skate though. I've seen some footage of him. He has to work on his skating before I start.
You know how long it takes the blood to pump from his heart to his feet? It's like a giraffe.
It's like a brachiosaurus.
Every time he steps on the ice, the Benny Hill music comes on.
I mean,
here he comes out on the ice.
He has reach.
And there he goes.
Yeah, he could reach from one goal to the other. He's like Manute Bol. You ever see Manute Bol? Like the pictures of Manute Bol?
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like. Manute Bol.
Oh, man.
And if you don't know who Manute Bol is, look it up. It'll freak you out that dude played in the NBA.
Yeah, right.
He actually played in a professional hockey game for the Detroit Vipers, I think. One game.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He must have been like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I think
on skates.
they didn't have the right skate size for him, and he tried to shove his
surprise for
Yeah.
a dude that's like 7'2". You don't have skates for this guy?
No, I
Just
think
shove
he
him
was,
in a pair.
I think he was
pair of
7'6", 7'7".
Just go get Bossy's skates over there. Those size 10s. He'll fit right in. It's hockey. You're supposed to smash your feet in anyway.
We need size 32 DY, double wide. Come on.
32
Grab him
double
off the
D.
rack.
Oh, and we just went over the edge.
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. We're talking about skates, gang. We're talking about skates. Whew. All right. Preseason game number 1 under the belt. We dodged the curse of the unbeaten preseason. The captain and Brad are both getting a goal and assist. And Markstrom getting out there and playing with his sick helmet. So I think we covered everything today, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Scotty, you ready?
New signings, new coaches. You know, they look good for the first period and a half, and they kind of went to sleep a little bit, but that's okay because it's preseason and it doesn't count.
Exactly.
So just look at the fundamentals. We know the guys that are
We're
going to
put
the team.
We're going to put the fun in fundamentals because there's no D heads in this on this team.
Well, you gotta look at those fundies by some of these young kids. You know, look at fundies. what Stillman is doing. Look at what how Nolan Foote is out there. Like I said, I thought that one line change by Stillman, led to the one Islanders goal. So see how some of these young kids are playing.
That's correctable. That's a good thing. That's something like that's correctable.
That's correctable. That's correctable. But again, it's only preseason. So these things can be fixed before the games actually count and matter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is good that they do this so they can work on it in practice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But you got to see these things. And you saw flashes of Jesper Bratt going into full speed when he scored that goal. Yeah, he's gonna keep it down around 80% for right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
got to look good in Prague, boys. Got to look good in Prague.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. By the way, I guess we're at the final thoughts portion of our segment here.
I believe we are.
I believe we are, right? So I'm going to just jump right into this because I saw something incredible. Congratulations to the Utah Hockey Club for scoring their first goal of their
existence,
of their NHL existence. And it was, in case you weren't aware, it was they scored on themselves on an empty net.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost 2-0. You can take the Arizona Coyotes out of Arizona, but you can't take, you know what I mean? It's just
and it'll go down. It'll go down as the first ever goal scorer in team history as Owen Goal.
Oh,
wow!
Yeah. They should put that on a plaque and just be like, "Whoops." And then my other final thought is like I'm excited to have a hockey season back. But leading into this preseason, I was watching Shoresy season 3. By God, what a great show! If you're not aware of Shoresy and you're a hockey fan, you need to go out and watch it because first of all, it is one of the most quotable shows for a hockey fan. It might have been where Tarps Off kind of came out of, but it's such a good show, such a good show. So go out there, enjoy. Let's get this hockey season going. That was it. That's all I
right.
can say.
I'll go next and say, we got hockey back. It's been a while. It's only preseason, but it's something, and it was pretty exciting, and it was nice to see the fan turnout also for this game because usually preseason games, not that packed, but there was a fair crowd there tonight, and they were ready for some Devils hockey. So, that's kind of an indicator on this season of everyone kind of thinks this team is really ready to start taking those real steps to. We always talk about, if they do this, they do that, they do that. They have the pieces now, and they're all coming into their own.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be an incredibly big season for this team. And don't forget, Samu has always said 2025. Now, he never said if it was be the end of the season 2025 or the beginning of the season 2025. But he did say 2025. And I believe 2025 is upon us. Is upon us. So look out.
I'd prefer the first half of the year.
The prodigies, or what is it called? The prophecies of the woo. The prodigies of the woo.
Under pressure. That's song.
I love Prodigy. I love the Prodigy.
The prophecies of the woo.
Video.
May be coming true this year, so we'll see. But I'm excited.
So now that hockey season's back, you know what we start the first countdown to? we start the first countdown until Beer Baron goes tarps off for the first time this season.
Yeah, bud.
Start taking
And
bets.
it's going to be glorious.
We start taking bets. Is it the first quarter, second quarter, third, or fourth quarter of the season? And we'll do some side bets on how many beverages he has beforehand to lead him to go tarps off. Well, that's something to look forward to. But I do want to also extend a very happy birthday to a big fan of the podcast, Jake from London.
Oh,
Jake
yeah.
over there in England. It's his birthday on Friday.
All right,
Happy
Jake.
birthday.
So happy birthday to Jake over there across the pond. And I hope to see you at some point this season.
I forgot my final
Sam.
thoughts. I was going to say something.
That's all right.
I forgot. But go to joinourcrew.com. We will be back at American Whiskey opening night, October 10th. Also, thank you to JCB Architectural for the free tickets given away to a lucky fan.
There you go.
By signing up to joinourcrew.com, where you get the latest updates. Actually, we only did maybe a total 1 or 2 updates ever, but you'll get the latest when they're crucial. Yeah.
Well,
when there's more.
We're traveling more this season, so you're going to want to stay
Ignore that man with the remote controller T-shirt. We do plenty of updates on the internet site. Plenty of updates all the time. So much news and information, and at joinourcrew.com.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would join if I were you.
I will say a couple things because I didn't really talk much tonight. But number one, Dougie Hamilton being back is a relief, seeing that he's skating well, taking shots. You worry about those kind of injuries, what kind of effect it would have on him. This is a great start. Also, Rachel being on MSG Networks, her first first time.
Yeah, welcome to Rachel.
Yeah. I think her last name is Herzog, I believe. And
former defender. She's played defense.
So it's going to be interesting to see her all season long on MSG Networks. And that's all I have to say. Oh, and go ahead, Beer Brown.
I'm so sorry. I just have a quick question. Does anybody have the answer to when MSG is going to release the Gotham Sports app? I know they are teaming up with the Yes Network, so
soon, I believe.
I think it's already out.
I think it's maybe I'll check. I don't know.
I got an email blast, I think, a couple days ago. About price checking.
Yeah, I checked. My cable company still sucks, and they don't carry MSG. But go on. Sorry, Sam. Go on.
He's just looking for the button.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the button. Just stall. Stall.
Yep. Celebrate Grimace. Just celebrate Grimace.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to be dropping the podcast at midnight. Last week, we looked at the numbers. Lots of downloads. We only did one podcast last week, but as soon as the season starts, it's going to be pretty much every day.
Blammo.
Devils After Dark will be back. Game Day Live will be back. The Woo Report will be back. Maybe a morning woo. Could be some other stuff in the mix. State of the Fan Address presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. We'll be back this Wednesday, September 25th. Getting ready for Devils hockey. Good to see everybody at the Rock for preseason. Till next time, let's go Devils.